Hello, Sarah, and welcome back to Unabashed
Hi,
You.
Rechelle.
It's so nice
Thank
to see
you.
you. I am looking forward to having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for saying yes. I'm excited to talk about superpowers. This is turning out to
Yes,
be a really fun series. So thank you. Thank you for saying yes.
thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Sarah, if you could have try out any job that you wanted to for a day, what would it be?
I'm gonna have to be a professional dancer for
Oh,
like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, something like that. And you know why? Because I can't dance. I mean, I can dance, but it's not well.
okay. But here, let me ask you, do you enjoy dancing?
I do, like especially at concerts. Like concerts are my happy place because I feel like, there's other people that may not dance that well, but like we're all happy, we're all having fun, nobody's judging you. So like that I love.
Right.
I will dance at a concert. I don't care. It's like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm dancing. So
Right. Well, good for you. My point in asking you if you enjoyed it was I feel so strongly that we don't actually have to be good at a skill if we enjoy doing it. That's really the sweet spot, I think. So
right.
if you
Yeah.
enjoy it, yes, by all means. But yeah, concerts, because you're with other people that like that same kind of music, and there's just this palpable energy,
Yeah, there
typically,
is.
especially in a really big concert arena
Mm-hmm.
type thing, where it's like, oh my gosh, you feel it as you walk in.
Feel it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
incredible. I like that professional dancer idea. That's a good one. All right, what about the best trip you've been on thus far?
What was it?
The
Oh, best
best
trip.
trip you've ever been on
Uh,
so far, because maybe it's in the future, but so far.
okay. So I will say, um, let's see, it's been 8 years now. Me and my husband took our two girls to Disney. We surprised them at Christmas time on Christmas Eve with a trip to Disney.
Oh,
So yeah, that was the best trip. And it was just so fun. We did the whole because they always open one gift on Christmas Eve. So their gift was a t-shirt, like a Disney t-shirt with their name on it. And my 14-year-old, she was like sneaking in her gift. So she had a hint, like she thought something was up. But then our other one, she was 6 at the time and she had no clue. So it was fun. And then it
oh.
was like, we're leaving tonight. And so it was really cool to
You
be able to
left on
do that.
Christmas Eve?
Uh-huh. We did Christmas Eve with my dad and my grandma and stuff. And then we left at midnight on
Oh my gosh, that is such a great memory for
yeah.
kids. They're
Uh-huh.
always going to remember that. Oh, that is so special. Well, good for you for having such a great family trip. You can have three people over for dinner, living or dead. Who are they?
Okay, so this one was kind of hard for me. So I had to use the process of elimination because I feel like there's a lot of family members and things that have passed on that I would want to have. So I really couldn't pick three. So I had to do
Okay,
I had to do, realistic.
that's good.
Unfortunately
No wrong
yeah, we
answers
can't
here. No
have
wrong answers. Okay. Who are you
yeah.
having
So and
over?
these may not be realistic, but in my dreams it would happen.
Of
So
course.
I'm gonna have Beyonce,
Okay.
Adam Sandler, and Sylvester Stallone.
That's really quite an array of people. Now, Beyonce makes sense based on your previous answer of dancing, and I'm imagining that you like her music as well. So now
Yes.
she's a guest. Is she also going to break out into some song and dance during your dinner?
I don't know. That would probably be pretty amazing though. But
Okay.
I don't know because I was kind of thinking I mean, obviously I don't know her personally, but I've heard that she's pretty laid back and down to earth, when she is not performing and things. So I think that we'd probably just kind of have a chill, relaxed dinner.
Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice. Okay, and is Adam Sandler because he's going to make you laugh?
Yeah, he's gonna make me laugh. He's like so. So with this dinner, are we allowed to bring like other people, or is it just the three guests and me?
It's your fantasy, so you you have
Okay.
at it.
Because I was gonna say, like, I'd have to invite my daughter. If I'm having Beyonce over, I have to invite my daughter, or she'd never forgive me. And then probably if I'm having Adam Sandler and Sylvester Stallone, I'd have to have my dad over. Um, and because like Adam Sandler movies, like I can remember being probably 12, maybe 12 and older. I mean, we watched Happy Gilmore and Wedding Ceremony like over and over again, and just would laugh and laugh and laugh. So a lot of good memories with that. And I
And
also
that's
heard that he's pretty. Go ahead.
no, no, I was gonna, who is pretty what? What were you gonna say? Adam
Oh,
Sandler?
I was just gonna say I've also heard that Adam Sandler's pretty, down to earth and just a nice, friendly guy. So
Okay, another down to earth. That's good. Okay,
yeah,
so what strikes me about not so much your choices, but your why of your choices is that they are for other people. That's so sweet. You're thinking of your daughter. You're thinking of your dad. I mean,
yeah.
you're
I
thinking
mean,
of you too, but
definitely,
still.
yeah, yeah, definitely me too. But yeah, it's like if that ever really happened, and if I didn't invite them, I'd never forgive myself. Even
Oh,
one of those people. But
right. That's so fun. I love that. Okay. What are you most proud of? I should say one thing, because that like, it's like back when we were kids. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? I mean,
yeah.
okay, realistically, one thing you are proud of.
So I would say I'll probably just say in my book, I mean, we talk about, it's so hard to like promote a self-published book, but at the same time, I did something that millions of people, only a small percentage of people accomplish that. So, it is something that I should be proud of and that I should celebrate. And so, I want to make sure I do that as well and not just look at the downside of it.
Right. And before we hopped on the call, I was talking to Sarah about her book because I had the absolute privilege of reading it, Less Fear, More Fire. And it's a memoir, and but it's so much more than her memories of growing up. She can I say survived domestic violence, not only as
Mm-hmm.
a child witnessing it, but then also your first serious relationship was that same kind of you sort of followed that pattern, probably
Mm-hmm.
without necessarily meaning to, but you found yourself in a similar situation. And I feel like this book is not just for people that touches on. And by the way, that if you talk to people long enough, it touches everybody in some way. They know somebody, they have their sister
Right.
or whomever. It's filled with so much hope. So it's not just your recounting of what you went through. It's also how you got through, why you got through, and then how you have managed to thrive on the flip side of that, which I think is such an important message for people that this touches and beyond, because there is hope.
Well, thank you. Now I just need you to record that, Rechelle, and so I can play it when
Yes.
people ask me what the book is about.
Yes, yes, and feel free, grab it and use it. I actually wrote a review for Sarah's book on Amazon because I believed in it that much. I mean, we met each other through Instagram. Sometimes I get a guest book to be supportive, and I did do that, but I read it, and so it became so much more than I'm supporting a guest. No, it was
Mm-hmm.
beyond supporting a guest. It was, oh my gosh, everybody needs to read this book. I mean, everybody needs to read this book. That's how I feel
Well,
about
thank you.
it.
Thank
I'm
you. That
starting to get
means a
kind of
lot.
choked up. Yeah, I'm starting to get
Yeah.
kind of choked up.
I
So
was gonna say your support has meant, I mean, you've been so supportive. I just love it and I'm so thankful for it.
well, and it's my pleasure, my privilege, my honor, absolutely, because when somebody creates something or manages to survive and thrive despite or because of in different situations, there's so much value in that. I mean, if we look around just where we're planted, like literally in our lives, the people that are in our circle and the next circle and the next circle, we see people who are not fully showing up as themselves, right? They're kind of
Right.
in, or they're settling, or they're less than who they could be. And I think your book really speaks to, um, you know, having your own life and seizing it with gusto, right? And you and I are both women of faith, and so we have that in common.
Right.
And it's, God has given you so much. Why on earth wouldn't you take advantage of that? I mean, think of how we are as parents. You provided for your girls to have this incredible adventure on Christmas, but what if they went, well, I don't know. I don't, you know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
What if they kind of second guessed it, or I'm not sure, or I might not be
That's
good
true.
enough, or, but you're like, no, we're doing this thing and let's go do this thing. That's kind of how
Yeah.
I view God, as giving us all these incredible things. Why wouldn't you want to make the most of it? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
That's a great way to look at it. I like that.
Okay,
Me
good.
too.
Okay,
Me
good.
too.
I got on a little soapbox there, listeners. That's okay. That's okay. All right, Sarah, what's on the top of your bucket list these days?
This was a hard one for me because I mean I like to travel, but I can't say there's like a destination that I have to go to. I would just say maybe I've been on one short cruise, like a 3-day cruise, maybe another cruise, but like with a bunch of family. Like I love family trips. So
Right.
yeah.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Anywhere or somewhere in particular? You're like, I don't care where we go, as long as
Yeah.
we're
Anywhere.
together. Anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. As
That's
long as we're on a
that's
boat and having fun and
that's a very doable bucket list item, I have to say. Very
it
doable.
is. Yeah.
Very doable. Oh, wait. Okay. So now my dog is barking. We'll see if if we can still hear that or not. A quote that is inspiring you these days. What's inspiring you these days?
Okay, so there's a quote. I mean, it is inspiring, but it just kind of stuck with me, and I really like
Yes.
it. So
Love
hold
those.
on, I'm gonna.
Love those.
So it's from Michelle Obama's mom, and
Oh,
I don't
Mrs.
want to
Robinson. I
butcher
can't
it,
think of her
but
first name right now.
yes,
Marion?
I believe
Marion
it's
Robinson?
Meredith. Maybe, yeah, because I know I have it somewhere, but of course I
Okay.
can't find it right now. But I know the quote is because when she passed, I believe it was Michelle Obama that shared some of her favorite quotes, or it might have been Barack even, but one of them was, "Don't worry about who doesn't like you. Come home. We'll always like you here." And
Oh,
I just love that because I mean, I'm a big advocate for family. Family is everything, right? So it's like, that
oh,
just means so much. I mean, and think about, Barack Obama was the president. How many people didn't like him just because of who he was, and and their
right.
kids just because of who their parents were. Their kids probably weren't like, and just that it doesn't matter who doesn't like you. Come home, we'll always like you here. So
Oh, that is
that
so
was,
sweet. I like
yeah.
that. Oh, I really like that. That is very touching. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, that's so
You're
good.
welcome.
Yes, we're in our superpower series. So I've got to start because, summer blockbuster superhero movies, whether you go to them or not,
Mm-hmm.
probably, I don't know, maybe your oldest daughter's into them. I don't know. It depends. Who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, favorite superhero. That's a good one. Um,
You
I
may not have
probably,
one. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I'll just say Wonder Woman.
Okay. Of
Just
course,
because she's,
I'm going to ask. Okay, here we go. You're going to tell me why. Okay, why?
yeah, just because, a strong woman, of course. It just, she is a picture of female empowerment. And, just,
Mhm.
so That's
Yes,
what I got. Yeah.
yes, that's, yeah, there's no more that's needed. That's the picture right there. And I chose her for mine too, just so
Did
you know.
you?
Yeah, I'm in good company there.
Yeah.
If you were a superhero, what superpower would you want to have?
Okay, so I would probably need the superpower of being able to read people's minds,
Okay, why?
which um but just because the simple fact that I'm an overthinker and I like
Ah,
I'm always like, sometimes I assume what someone's thinking and they may not even be thinking that, but in my people pleasing, reading the room personality that I have, I just kind of assume what they're thinking. So it would just be, I don't know, it'd just be nice to really know what they're thinking.
Oh, I like that reasoning. I like that reasoning. It'd be nice to really know what they're thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. That's a
Yeah.
good
And
one.
then, I just thought of a quote and I can't think of who it is by, but the quote, what other people think of you is none of your business. So
Ah, yes. I've heard that. I'm not sure who said it. We'll find
I
out.
believe it was a first lady, but I can't think of who it was, and I don't want to say the wrong name.
Oh, yes. That is so interesting. And wouldn't it be, I mean, I guess I'll speak for myself. I think I'd like to work more towards this idea that it is none of my business what they think. I mean, and that
Right.
comes back to being, we've talked in the past about being, confident in who you are and courageous in who you are, and caring less about what people think, because yeah, this is the reality of it. This is the reality of
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe I don't want to be able to read people's minds.
it. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. All right, so that brings us to your human superpower. What is your human superpower?
Okay, so I thought about this one, and first thing comes to mind, and I think I even said this in the book, that writing is my superpower. It's my way to express myself creatively, be able to say what I want to say when I can't find the words to communicate it through speech. But then I feel like you have to be careful with that because we live in a world of social media and Facebook, and where people can say literally anything they want to someone, like a complete stranger, through a screen, and sometimes they say very hateful, mean things to cut people down,
Right.
and it's like, obviously, well, they could say that too. Well, I express myself better when I write than when I speak. So I want to be real careful about that, about I guess I don't want to take advantage of that and just say, well, that's my superpower, so I can do that. So, and also want to challenge myself, like if I would not say it to the person's face, I shouldn't be saying it, because I'm the type that I get real angry and I can, I want to say something real quick, but it's like, it's like, would you say that if they were standing here in front of you? And if not, then you shouldn't be typing it, you know? So, so that's kind of a
Oh,
superpower. I mean, but I
no,
was
that's
also
good. That's good. That makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
And then so I kind of settled on, I think, advocacy, like being an advocate for myself and for other people. Um, because I feel like for instance, just like if there's a parent group and we're not liking an organized sport, how they're running this organized sport, and we're kind of complaining behind closed doors, complaining to each other, everyone's kind of got the same complaints, but no one's speaking up about it, then I'm the one that's like, hey, everyone feels this way. Somebody needs to speak up. I'll be the one to speak up, so it's
Ooh.
almost like that, like I'm not afraid to speak up, especially if I feel like other people are feeling the same way and they're not saying anything about it. It's like, well, I'll be the one to speak up, and that's a real minor one. I mean, if the worst thing that ever happens to us is we don't like our kids coach or something like that, that we're doing good. But at the same time, there's other important issues that you need to speak up for yourself and for other people. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm braver when I'm like speaking up against an
Mm.
issue, or speaking out against a wrong, or speaking out when like my voice is not being heard. And that could be something as simple as my family member getting care at a hospital, and it feels like they're just
Mhm.
kind of glossing over everything and not taking us seriously. Then it's kind of like, you put that cape on and it's like, look, you need to listen to what I'm saying. And sometimes I think sometimes I don't know, I kind of shrink myself down and like, I don't know, maybe make myself small or may not seem like I know what I'm talking about. But then it's like when you kind of sense like they're not taking you seriously, then it's like, okay, I need to let you know that I do know what I'm talking about. And, you are going to listen to me. So
Right.
sometimes it kind of forces me out of my shell. Like, no, don't make yourself small. You need to, because sometimes, unfortunately, we live in a world where people are kind of self centered and self absorbed. And I think if you don't, if you're not certain or don't appear certain and don't feel sure of yourself, then they pick up on that and they do kind of,
Ah.
they don't take you seriously. So,
Ooh, oh, that's interesting. That's really an interesting point that other people might sense that and then take advantage of it, which obviously is
right.
it's not something we want to have happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, do you remember when I first talked to you about this series? This is going
Uh
back a
huh.
ways, and I told you that I knew what your superpower was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to share with you what I
Yeah.
think your
Definitely.
superpower is observing, and that is resilience. I
Okay.
think you
Okay.
are extraordinarily resilient. Having read your book, having kind of from afar, seeing what you've been through, I feel like you are the picture of resilience. And
No, thank you.
yeah, and then as you talked just now about your superpower being writing and your superpower being advocacy for yourself and for others, it struck me that words are a superpower for you
That's true.
because
Yeah.
in both of those instances you have to find the words in writing,
Hmm.
find the words in advocating for yourself or someone else, you have to find the words. And so
Yeah.
I mean, at first I was like, I know what I'm going to tell her resilience. I'm going to tell her resilience. Now, as you're talking, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's words. And of course, it's we're not having a test on this or anything, but it's just interesting to see, how we see ourselves and then also how others might see us because I don't know you like super well, but
Hmm.
this is what I'm picking up on.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do like that, and I remember that, and I was going to ask you, like, what do you think my superpower is?
Yes. Well, what I've been doing is um um with almost all the guests is coming like something comes to me, and so after we talk for a while, then I say, can I tell you what I think your superpower is? And then say what sort of what I've observed and what I think it is, and just have you try it on. And that's a really cool thing that I worked in education, and something that I would teach to the teaching artists that I worked with was, if you get feedback, try it on. If it
Yeah,
fits, great, keep it. And if it doesn't, then you can, take it off and discard it, just like you would
right.
if you were trying some clothes on. So I think it's kind of cool to sort of try on different things and say, oh, I guess maybe I am a little resilient.
Yeah, and now that you say that, I think about so when I was first like getting ready to release my book, I was all about clothing with words on it. If it would like maybe a blazer or shoes, they had these like knee high boots that had it looked like magazine writing on them. Well, I didn't get the knee high boots, but I ended up getting some like stiletto heels. So I'm like, there's my cape, the
There
words
your
with the
word. Yeah,
heels.
I love that. There are your words. I love that it came right through your clothing. That's how words are for you. I
Yeah.
just think that's absolutely beautiful. Is there anything you feel like we didn't get to touch on before we wrap up here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, it's an ongoing gift to have these conversations with you because I leave feeling really like full, like after a really great meal and dessert, because dessert is part of a great meal as far as I'm concerned. And then just like, oh, I just feel really fulfilled in a really great way. So I thank you for setting this time aside. And I know you worked all day, so thank you for rallying and spending this time. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I was gonna say, I just kept saying I got to make this time to have this talk because it does. After we talk or during while we talk, it's a great time, and I do. I feel fulfilled too. So
Good,
it's
good.
always good talking with you.
You too, Sarah.